speaking of managers, not a job. Thomas Tuchel, man. Let's get back to this Bayern Munich situation with Thomas Tuchel.
Can't get enough of it,
Can't
man.
get enough
it
of it.
cracks me up.
He is.
It's something you could only write in like a fictional story.
This is why we
how
also love the
bored.
sport, right? The drama, the storylines,
Yeah.
all of it. But Tuchel is
so
leaving
great.
at the end of the season. So you and I, we're gonna give our list. We already have our list, but we're gonna talk about some of these managers who we think should take over as a Bayern Munich manager. So a little bit of history. Thomas Tuchel was brought in for Julian Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann was hired in 2021, fired in March of 2023, while on a skiing holiday.
Yeah, I think he found out via like Instagram. I think it was like he did actually get a phone call.
Nagelsmann,
Like someone told him.
I think you're right. Nagelsmann, he won the Bundesliga, won the DFL Super Cup, and was hired for a managerial fee of 25 million euros, which at the time was a record.
Massive. Yeah.
You know who beat that record?
Bayern Munich?
Nope.
No, Thomas Tuchel was out of a job.
It was who replaced Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea?
Oh, Pochettino, huh?
Graham Potter.
See how quickly we forget?
Mine is going. Graham Potter is now the highest managerial fee. But Tuchel was brought in the day after the firing of Nagelsmann. They barely won the Bundesliga on the final day thanks to the absolute utter collapse.
A monumental collapse of Borussia Dortmund. Yeah.
Yes. And it was said that Oliver Kahn and Hasan Salihamidzic, CEO and sporting director, wanted Tuchel at Bayern Munich. And after the season, they had both Oliver Kahn and Salihamidzic were fired. So with Tuchel at the end of the season, or maybe earlier, who knows? Things are going for Bayern Munich. Who would you pick to be the Bayern Munich manager?
Well, I mean, we've seen the list, right? There's not a terrible amount of world-class coaches that you could say qualifies for the Bayern Munich job, right? You got the obvious one, former player Xabi Alonso, who's been fantastic for Bayer Leverkusen all season. But you also, if you're Bayern Munich, have to contend with the fact that Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool, where Xabi Alonso is also a great of that club. Zinedine Zidane, who's been out of a job for a while, he's recently come out and said he would love to coach in the Bundesliga or the Premier League. Unai Emery of Aston Villa, who has a phenomenal track record in Europe. Hansi Flick, former manager of Bayern Munich, and I guess of recently Germany. Yeah. Was a fantastic coach for Bayern Munich, won everything except for the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. Or did he was he the coach that won the Champions League with them? I don't know. We got Sebastian, is it Hoeneß? Manager of Stuttgart, yeah. He's done great things, player development, whole 9 yards. His uncle, Uli, is still on the Bayern board, former president, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So those are the short list. I want to throw another name in there as Porto's coach, Sergio, is it Conceição? I believe it's how you pronounce that. Because he said he's not going to return to Porto next season. He's done fantastic things there, but I mean, the obvious choice has to be Xabi Alonso, doesn't it?
I think he's the obvious choice. He doesn't go. Honest with you.
Me neither.
I think being a manager it's a tough job.
It's very reminiscent of Barcelona.
A little bit. I think it's quite as bad. There's a lot of oversight from that board. And, are expected to win trophies. Are expected to do well. Are expected to play well. And being completely honest with you, I'd like to see Xabi Alonso stay at Bayer Leverkusen another season.
Oh, I would love to see him stay there for 5-10 years.
I hope he doesn't go to Liverpool because I think it's going to be a huge step up. If he doesn't do well, that could really hurt his reputation and managerial career. Zinedine Zidane, paper, this one looks good. Big player. Has won lots of trophies. Again, managing in Bavaria, man, takes something special. I don't think this one will happen, if I'm being honest.
I don't either. And, you look at the teams that Zidane has had, you've had,
Real Madrid.
a plethora of world-class talent on those Real Madrid squads where pretty much you and I probably could have managed them to a Champions League title.
Go play how you play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just signed a contract with Villa. Could be expensive to pry him away. Bayern looking at him because his Villarreal team knocked Bayern Munich out of the Champions League in 2022.
Yep.
A little something there. I don't think he should leave Villa either.
Villa. No, he's got a good thing going there.
He does. See Flick, he's a former manager already. He left in 2021 after differences with Salihamidzic, who, as I just mentioned, is no longer there. So that can be a good pickup. But we've seen Germany's performances with Hansi Flick.
Awful.
Not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. And then, as you mentioned, Sebastian Hoeneß, how do you pronounce his last name? Current manager of Stuttgart. Could be a fantastic candidate. He's been working with a limited budget at Stuttgart, which I'm sure Bayern Munich would like. The big thing, his uncle's there.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, especially, aside from having family ties to the board of Bayern Munich, I just think the job he's done at Stuttgart, especially from where they were last season to where they are this season, he's done a fantastic job. I don't see why they wouldn't at least attempt to get him away from Stuttgart. So for me personally, it's got to be Hansi Flick or Sebastian Hoeneß as like the top two candidates, aside from Xabi Alonso, because obviously they're going to go after him. I mean, if they get the best manager in the league to come to them instead of keeping him at Bayer Leverkusen, you're automatically hurting your title rivals. So that makes sense.
It's an interesting one. But let us know. Make sure you check our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Let us know who you think should be the next manager of Bayern Munich once Thomas Tuchel leaves, either this season or at the end of the season.
I'm going to throw my hat in for he doesn't last the season and Hansi Flick comes back for at least the remainder of the season. So
good shout. I think it's a good shout.